As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about. Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. As President of the United States, I am
Oh, wow. All right. Crazy times, guys. What's going on? Welcome to American Fire Tonight. National Guardsmen shot in D.C., murdered, cold blood. I think a third's in critical condition by an Afghani illegal immigrant, as far as I know. Or maybe he wasn't illegal, but it doesn't matter. He shouldn't have been here. Listen, guys, it's ramping up. It's ramping up. And I'm going to show you guys tonight how this is all coordinated by the left. They want this. This is their part of their color revolution, aka Civil War, sedition. I think also what I'll show you guys tonight is that I believe Trump and the administration are ready to handle it. And, sometimes you have to be shown how bad things are before you can react. So we're going to go through that tonight. Also, today, a massive story with Marjorie Taylor Greene and showing her true colors. So I'll be going through that. Other crazy stuff going on foreign policy-wise. Stuff's definitely ramping up, folks. Things are definitely ramping up. So get ready. It's going to be wild. We got so much to talk about, but anyways, not what I wanted to be talking about coming into Thanksgiving. That's one of my favorite holidays. Been spending the day with my family after getting off work and ready for tomorrow. And, it should be a time of gratefulness, should be a time of blessing, a time of peace, a time of hanging out with our families. And yet we got to go through this, but we're going to win. It's going to be all right down the road, but we cannot take our eyes off the prize. We cannot take our foot off the gas. So, we'll get into it in just a second. But before we get started, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Tells YouTube I'm relevant, I'm alive. I was just watching today, conservative / MAGA on YouTube is being, what's the word they said? It's not quite shadow banned, but definitely throttled lately. So every little bit helps, guys. I appreciate your support. So a like and subscribe goes a long way here on YouTube. And on Rumble, Rumble, they just don't promote you at all. And on X, apparently I need to be streaming from Bulgaria or something in order to get attention. But it is what it is. I'm still here. I'm still going to do the work because the work is important. And that's what matters. But every little bit helps, guys. So thank you so much for the likes and subscribes. Let me say hey to the chat, and then we're going to get right into it. I don't want to keep you guys too long tonight. I know lots of people want to sleep and get rested for their Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna go through stuff as fast as I can, but also cover it as well as I can. D6 report in the house tonight. What's up, buddy? Z Grooms, what's up? Alan Agajanian, it's been a while, buddy. Good to see you. Steve Bernard, US1, what's up? Take off the gloves. Action, not words. Welcome to the chat. Miami RN, what's up? Chris Martzweiler, what's up, man? It's been a while. Toe Cramp, how we doing? Wago Waco in the house. Linda Telly, Just Mike, what's up? Stella Artois, how you doing, friend? William Kivamaki, Lochtefeld over on Rumble, what's up? Kessink says it's martial law time. Well, Maybe in some areas. Yeah. Well, they're basically putting DC under martial law. You'll see here in a second. Bolts fan says Muslims always been at war with everyone. Well, yes. Everyone not. Yes, pretty much. That's what their history is. Uncle Andy, what's going on, man? Are all the National Guard still in critical condition? I thought 2 died. Maybe I got bad news. We'll see. Red Marxist, green Islam. Yeah, what's up, Candace and Stephanie? How you doing tonight? Happy Thanksgiving early. The YouTube's not going to like this. If you look in your history, the Islamists always partner with the worst of the worst. They partnered with the Soviet Union in many instances, and they partnered with Hitler. Bet a lot of you didn't know that. Do you guys know why Iran is called Iran and no longer Persia? Anyone know? Iran is Arabic for Aryan. Do you remember what Aryan is? Aryan was Hitler's master race, the Übermensch. Blonde hair, blue-eyed. And the Persians, in partnering with Hitler, wanted to honor him by renaming their country Aryan, as if we were one of the chosen people. So they had a close alliance with Hitler. So, yeah, and the Islamists have always been on the wrong side of history. And also, I know many of you were probably taught, as I was, that the Crusades were evil and as big bad Christians. No, the Crusades actually saved Western civilization from Islamic takeover, as Islam and Salami, I can't remember his name, but they were taking over Europe quickly. And without a coordinated strike back at the heart of Islam and going back to take Jerusalem, it's very likely Europe, who was disorganized at the time, would have been taken over. And if there's no Europe at that time, Islamic, there would have been no America, USA as we know it. So listen, if you've read the books about how Muhammad came to discover Islam or be enlightened with Islam, it's pretty crazy stuff, very demonic. So, I think Islam is one of the great deceptions in the world. Doesn't mean all Muslims are bad. Not all Muslims believe everything in Islam. They are more moderate, and maybe they were raised that way. So this is not all Muslims are bad, but true Islam is evil. It really is. And it's anti-Christian, and we keep seeing it, don't we? And this is not some psyop to get us into a war in the Middle East. Trump's got peace in the Middle East right now. No, they sent their crazies to us. With the Biden administration, the Obama administration created ISIS. I mean, they were creating all kinds of stuff partnered with Islam. I believe Obama himself is a Muslim. There's a lot of evidence to that. And on top of that, and then the Biden administration just opened the door and let all these crazy people in. And so, but it's not just Islam we're at war with, okay? We're at war with communism. We're at war with the radical left, who is its own form of communist, leftist, fascist, however you want to say it. There's all kinds of descriptions we could give them, but they are the political left in our country, far left. We're at war with them. We truly are. We've known that for a while now, and Charlie Kirk made it obvious. It continues to be made obvious by all this stuff. And then we're also at war with a global elite who uses all these other factions to get what they want. And they're the ones who often, Islam by itself, we could head off. Communism by itself, we've defeated once before, we'd do it again. But it's the subterfuge that is run by the globalists who keep weaving this in and out, who keep using intelligence agencies and our corrupt politicians to subvert us from within. They are the ones who make this battle keep going on. And our ultimate war is to defeat them. And once we defeat them, the rest will be easy. The rest will be easy. So, but this is just another good reminder tonight of what we're dealing with. And, you know, I'm not even angry this time because I just know, but I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more just ready to defeat them once and for all. You know, they can only hit you so much where you stay angry. At some point, I've been laser focused for a long time now. And this just reminds me why I cannot stop, why I have to do this show nonstop, even if only 100 people watch my videos or 10,000 people watch my videos. I don't care. I have to keep going because the war of information is the war that ultimately will determine whether we win or lose, because the people, if they are awake, we can't lose. We can't lose. But the information war is what determines that. The information war is if we don't win the information war, the people go in the wrong direction, or the people lose heart and are demoralized. And I got to tell you guys, it is not time to lose heart. It is time to gear up. It's time to press in. It's time to learn more. It's time to fight. We have one chance at this. One chance. The next 3 years are critical. They're critical. And I know someday I look forward to not having to say that anymore, but for now it's true. 2024 was the most important election in history. 2028 will be the election that makes sure we continue what we started and we don't lose it all. Because you see, when you punch your enemy in the mouth, when you break them down, when you defeat them, they are more desperate than ever. And that is when they are most dangerous. As long as we stay on the momentum, they cannot win. But if we give it back to them, now they will be more brutal. They will be more awful than ever. And that's why we cannot lose. And it's not just about elections. It's about so much more than that. But unfortunately, elections are the pivotal moments that determine direction. And we cannot lose them. So, folks, tonight is one of those moments to remember and to gear yourself up. Let's go through what happened tonight. Trump posted this after the shooting. The animal, the left loves when he uses that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless, will pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. As I and everyone associated with the office of the presidency am with you. Amen. That is a man of the people. I love how he puts that out there. It's important to remember. Well, actually, first let's go through Trump's comments on this. So I already showed you guys one, but he's speaking a lot on the immigration issues tonight. And so let me just play a couple clips of how he's dealing with this and how you can see his intensity, his focus is on this issue. It's very important to recognize where we're at.
Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who is in Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of...
Hear him at the end there. That was about the Somalians. He says we must re-examine every other alien. So I'm telling you, this is going to open up the people to wanting more from this. But let's go through more of this speech because I believe it's important. I want you to listen to his intensity as he speaks and just what I believe is I hate when I do that. Sorry, guys. The intensity as he speaks, the focus, and the words of what could be coming. So just listen to this. And a lot of you are going to say, finally. I don't believe this is new, but what this will, after today, the people will be much more behind him. This will galvanize people again to increase stuff, which is a very good thing.
Fellow Americans, earlier today, on the eve of the Thanksgiving holiday, 2 members of the National Guard serving in Washington, D.C., were shot at point-blank range in a monstrous ambush-style attack just steps away from the White House. They had been deputized as part of the most successful public safety and national security mission in the history of our nation's capital, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, which has achieved...
Sorry, I'm going to skip ahead here. We've already heard a lot of this.
...under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country.
Do you hear that? That facilitate the removal of any alien who is not bringing benefit to our country or basically wanting to be a part of our country. Those are strong words, and those are important words. That's what the people want to hear.
If they can't love our country, we don't want them.
If they can't love our country, we don't want them. Amen. Amen. This is a speech we needed. This is a speech that's very important.
America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling. That is why tonight I can announce that I have directed the Department of War to mobilize an additional 500 troops to help protect our capital city. We will make America totally safe again, and we will bring the perpetrator of this barbaric attack to swift and certain justice if the bullets going in the opposite direction haven't already done that. During this time of the year, when we gather at home with loved ones, these 2 patriots were wearing the uniform of our country, patrolling the streets of our capital. They had taken a selfless oath to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that is exactly what they were doing when they were gunned down in a savage attack. I want to express my extraordinary gratitude to every member of the United States military who is deployed tonight at home and abroad. I also want to thank the Secret Service and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department.
Okay. But do you guys hear what I believe is one of the most important parts there is the extra 500 guards now going into D.C. So listen, that in the way I read that is that means effectively D.C. is now under martial law. D.C. is not a big town. It's really not. There's a couple million people there, but it's very small. And so there will be nearly over 1,000 National Guardsmen now patrolling the streets there, keeping things clamped down. This has been going on since, and I believe this is the beginning. I don't think Trump will declare martial law. He's just going to keep moving troops in these instances. And with D.C., it's interesting that D.C. was the first one. Obviously, it makes sense being a federal city, but it's a statement. We're taking back the capital of the United States. We're taking back the town. It's very instrumental and important as a symbol. And so this is it, and it's ramping up. And they I know one of the biggest criticism I hear constantly about what's going on is that Trump's not doing enough. They're not doing enough. And the problem is when Trump is doing stuff that's not, you got to remember there's a whole bunch of people in the middle who just want the economy better. And these are Trump voters. These are people who propelled him to victory. And when Trump is focusing on the stuff that will get us there, but doesn't seem like it's focused on the economy, stuff like cleaning up foreign entanglements or decoupling power out of the cabal, the globalists, breaking their hold on everything, because it is all connected. Most people don't understand that, but it is. That's what he's doing. He can't just go out and arrest people without without having the cases built. He can't just bring National Guard into cities until people realize how bad it is. And so everything has to be done in timing. And that's just a fact. Otherwise, the people would turn on him. And with our system, and it's a good system, it's the best system ever created. In our system, if you lose the people, it will eventually turn on you. And the Democrats will take advantage. The left, the globalists, they'll all take advantage. And then we could lose everything. So it has to be done the right way. And this is one of those instances where, unfortunately, because of that, sometimes you have to slow down. And now is an opportunity, though, to ramp things up because of this. And so we just pray that those guardsmen live. But I can tell you, I don't believe this shooting will be, what they endured will be in vain. I truly don't. And based on Trump's words, the deportations are going to ramp up. Tom Homan today on an interview said that by January 1st, ICE could be triple in size, and they are going to ramp things up. And you better believe after tonight, it'll especially ramp up. Lochtefeld says Muriel Bowser, mayor of D.C., announced she's not running for re-election. Really? Well, that tells you what you need to know. They're cleansing a lot of them. Many people are starting to back off now, and step down, resign. Why? Because they know it's coming. This happened just 6 days after that talk to the military from the Democrats, the Democrat military folks, intelligence folks, Alyssa Slotkin, Mark Kelly, and so many others, after they basically called for sedition. 6 days later, we get a shooting on National Guards. Can you believe that? That's wild. I don't have Renee. I don't have confirmation whether they passed away or not. I thought they had, but then kept hearing that they're in critical condition. So hopefully they're still alive. But I don't know. I don't know what the latest is. I'll look it up here in a second. But this was the attack. Horrific. This is our people, our men that are guarding and serving our country. And it's just, it's not acceptable. They are no longer valued the way they should be, honored the way they should be. And this is pathetic. And apparently the guy, they did die. Is that official now? Man, that sucks. But they were, man, sorry. I didn't expect to see that. I was hoping that the other news I was getting was the good news, the other way, but that's terrible. Anyways, apparently the guy shot him and, even called out Allahu Akbar as he did it. It's just typical terror thing. But I'm telling you, this had to have been planned. A regular Islamic guy, just, terrorist or not, is not just going to randomly do an attack 6 days out. I mean, you cannot, the timing in this is just way too suspicious. Toe Cramp, you're getting comments removed? Oh, man. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like this stuff. Here's Alyssa Slotkin just a couple days ago. Listen to what she predicted.
It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, it makes me.
So just a couple days ago, she's warning that National Guards are going to be shooting at citizens. And then what happened today? An attack at National Guards. Do you think maybe it was an attempt to try to get them riled up, to make a mistake, to shoot at a citizen? You better believe that's what's going on. That's exactly what these people are doing. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. And you just see it everywhere. The left is just running this narrative now. This is Krasenstein, honestly sickening. National Guard troops were only in Washington because Trump fabricated a need for them. See, now they're trying to use this an illegal man, Islamic, yelling out Allahu Akbar, kills 2 National Guardmen or shoots 2 National Guardmen, and they're blaming Trump for it. This is sickening, man. These people are sick. Legal Eagle, if you're the governor of the state that sent this soldier to D.C., you should meet with the family, explain why you sent him here for this. Who cares that they were sent there for this? That doesn't matter. No matter why the shooting happened, these National Guard members were unnecessarily in D.C. Oh, so yeah, okay. If they weren't in D.C. and an Islamic terrorist started running amok, shooting people, well, guess what? He probably would have killed a lot more civilians then. If this was just, if what they say, this is just not a coordinated event, it's just a terror attack. Just okay. So, I mean, what's your point? Are you trying to say that just because the National Guard were there, it provoked this man to shoot? Absolutely not. That's insanity. These people are evil. They're evil, and they're all working together. There's not that many of them. It's the people in power. It's the media. It's the influencers. And then there's a lot of them hiding amongst our ranks. They're influencers on the right, or especially in the America only movement, America first movement, that whole psyop. I'm talking the Groypers, Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll, all these people. It's so clear what they're doing, trying to subvert us from within. It's so clear. The regular American doesn't think like this. But online, there is the info wars online. This is all going on. But the left is just so open about it. They're so open about it. And you can see the coordination. I mean, the way they think. This is from the New Yorker, a New Yorker writer. So tragic, so unnecessary. These poor guardsmen should never have been deployed. Again, what's the point? What are you trying to say? Because if they weren't there, it would have been civilians, right? Because this was just a random act of terror, right? Or was this planned because they were there? Okay, well then tell us more. Tell us more, since you apparently know that. This is just these people. It's so sickening. And then we're starting to get this kind of stuff out. A Groyper, those are what they self-identify as, the people who basically follow in the Nick Fuentes movement and are basically... There's the real ones, and then there's a bunch of people who just think they are because they're caught up in it. But they're basically leftists who pretend to be America first. And anyways, that's just crazy stuff. This reported today. Nonprofit linked to George Soros is fomenting sedition within the military around the same time a script went out to Democratic members of Congress urging rebellion within the ranks against President Trump. There are also links to Antifa. On November 11th, days before the video, the National Lawyers Guild published a page urging service members to refuse illegal orders. So this is how it works. This is how they build their narratives. The National Lawyers Guild publishes a page, sends it out to try to get it out to military members. Then the Democrats get it. And it's, hey, we're going to do a video on this. We're going to get this message out. This billboard is now up in North Carolina. Win Without Wars put up a billboard in North Carolina urging chaos and dissent within the ranks. Group linked to 501c4. There it is, guys. NGOs, nonprofits. It's all so evil. Backed by Soros, Open Society, previously named New Security Action. Data Republican found this, which she is a gem. She is just so amazing at how she finds stuff in the on the web, in the dark web. Win Without War, that is Soros, partnered with the National Lawyers Guild. National Lawyers Guild supporter of Antifa. Wrap it all together. Ruben Gallego, Democrat Senator, Arizona, said on national TV a script was sent to him. He ended up not participating, but admitted it was coordinated from external party. And here's the billboard in North Carolina. Did you go airborne just to pull security for ICE? Can you believe this? I mean, if you don't see it now, I mean, this is where I see this stuff all the time. I've been studying this now for years, and I constantly, every time I come out and make bold claims, make predictions that almost always come true in this area. I mean, I constantly get like the Epstein stuff, which I knew immediately how that was going to end up and was right. Listen, it's because we do the work. People like me, we do the work. And we're called conspiracy theorists, and you guys, most of you watching, probably called conspiracy theorists by your friends or family. But the truth is, it's like, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I used to laugh at conspiracy theories 10, 15 years ago. I used to laugh. I used to think everything really was what you see. It really was just kind of like, let that stuff die, guys. And for the most part, it felt like that. As a young man going through life, you were upset at the government. You get pissed about stuff, but everything seemed to mostly be as it seemed, if you didn't dig too far. And then the internet started opening up new avenues. And one of the reasons is because when the internet first popped up, there were so many ridiculous things. It was so easy to disprove them. But now, I mean, this is so obvious. You can't unsee this. I mean, that video comes out. They clearly are, no one's ever done that before. Told our military just to stand down, not take illegal orders especially when things are in such an uproar in our country. When we're so divided, when there's so much infighting amongst each other. Never before. And Democrat senators did it. And now we have shootings. And now we have billboards showing up. You can't make this stuff up. The links, like Data Republican, her words, good as gold. I mean, stuff is crazy, guys. It's crazy. And it tells you that, we are clearly in a war. It's a cold war for the most part. It's behind the scenes for the most part. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, right now, being in an off year, holidays, this is when people are starting to tune out again, starting to not pay attention to politics, I wish we could do that. I really wish we could. But this is the most important time to pay attention to politics ever. And you should be, and I have to tell my son, who's getting way too into it. I'm like, listen, man, just talk to me about it. Stop watching everything. But those of us who can handle it, those of us who are adults and actually can have play some kind of part by just having knowledge, that we have to be paying attention. We cannot check out. Because we have people that are actually fighting for us right now. And what they're dealing with is so much crazier than we all think. A lot of people thought Trump would get in. It'd be so simple. It'd just fix everything like a dictator. No, we have a system that we actually have to work within. And guess what? The left, they used the system and they subverted it and they infiltrated it and they got their tentacles into it over years and years and years. And they still did it within the system. Sure, they cheated here and there. Sure, they broke the rules here and there, but they still did it within the system. That's how strong our Constitution is. And because of that, somebody can't come in as a dictator and just clean it all up in a moment. You have to play politics. You have to. But the more this comes out, the more we see stuff like this, the more people pay attention as this stuff happens, that will give the willpower of the people to the president in order for more dramatic changes. And then we can see things ramp up. And that's why this kind of stuff needs to be shared. We need to talk about it. We need to get it out there. We need to put the pieces together. We need to tell our Democratic friends, dude, your people, the ones who actually can have a discussion, which isn't many of them anymore. But dude, your people 6 days ago called, for the military to basically demoralize the military by telling them like, you got to stand down from illegal orders. And the insinuation is that that's what you're receiving right now, that your commander in chief might not be all up to snuff. That's extremely demoralizing. And you guys just did that. And then 6 days later, they're being shot at. What's going on? I mean, what are we trying to do here? If you can't see it, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Here is a 29. He was illegal. Brought here in 2021 by Joe Biden. Staging the attack. He allegedly yelled Allahu Akbar. I mean, just, this guy's like naked right here. I mean, what the heck, dude? This is crazy stuff. It's absolutely crazy. Tom Luongo shares, guys, this is color revolution behavior. All the Trump sucks crowd are out in force trying to make this happen. You all know who you are. He's talking to this George Soros stuff, and they're trying to just flip the script on everything. They're trying to turn this into a blame Trump thing. It's not going to work. And the reason it's not going to work is because there's a good 65-70% of Americans who still, when they hear service members are shot in the line of duty, they just want justice. And those politics go out the window. And that's the visceral reaction. And that gut reaction is what you need in this situation. We had it with Charlie Kirk. We had weeks of revival. Things were spreading, and then we got into the Epstein stuff, got into the government shutdown. What do you think about that? Think about all the momentum we had after Charlie Kirk's death, the steel resolve that was passing through the veins of MAGA after that attack. And then what did they do? Hey, thanks, Thomas Massie, subverting us from within, trying to kill MAGA by implicating that Trump must be hiding something in the Epstein files about him. Thanks, Thomas Massie, for that, along with the Democrats. Hey, how about a government shutdown to just completely, first of all, the House is no longer in session during that time. The Senate breaks up. And then you have like nothing going on governmentally. The news slows down a little. It all becomes about a shutdown, about people not being paid, about SNAP benefits, all a distraction. All a distraction. And then we come out of all that. And what's the next week? Oh, the far right, the right's being taken over by people like Nick Fuentes. Oh, affordability. Trump's failing MAGA is dead. We went from Charlie Kirk's death, 50,000 turning points started, thousands and thousands of people getting saved, baptized, revival breaking out, MAGA soaring. In 60 days, we went from that to MAGA is dead, and people actually believed it. That's how powerful an information war is, friends. And that's what's going on. That's a color revolution right there. A color revolution is an information war that eventually leads to revolution and sedition and overthrow. It's what we did in Ukraine in 2014. Thanks, Obama and Biden. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. Harry Sassone tweeted it's Trump's fault. I believe that. I absolutely not shocked by that. And listen, it's so obvious now that Zero Hedge, the libertarian paper, which, they're not what I call libertards, who are the libertarians who are so stupid they they just shoot themselves in the foot all the time. They're a little smarter than that. But even they're talking about it. Seditious 6 scripted video appears to be part of left's broader color revolution. So obvious. So obvious. It's even getting called out now in major news organizations. Online news organizations. Not NBC big, but still very big. Color revolution against Trump. Well, a color revolution is more than just not liking a president. It's more than just gearing up to stop his agenda and get him voted out. A color revolution is overthrow. It's sedition. And I'm glad people are waking up to it. I don't believe a lot of people go around saying civil war, civil war. I don't believe we'll get to civil war. I really don't. You have to have the people, let me put it this way. In our Civil War in the 1860s, it was actually states rising up against other states. That meant governors were on board. They had their own generals, military bases, all that. It takes a lot to get a civil war going because you have to have a whole other army stand up against our army. Right now, that's not going to happen. It just won't. There is no civil war. There's a psychological civil war at times, but what there really is there's a majority of Americans who just want to live their lives, who just want to prosper, who are mostly moderate to conservative on social issues and just want to be able to make their money. And then there's a small percentage of people, but they seem very loud because they control the media and they have a lot of the governmental power. And that small group, maybe 15, 20% of Americans, really, really, really believe in what they're pushing. This communist society, this dictatorial government that'll take care of you and makes all these promises and really just consolidates power, destroys the family unit with all kinds of illicit sex and demoralizing society and stripping down standard morals, and men can become women, and you can have multiple partners and raise a family. It's just disgusting stuff. And they're doing that on purpose. And they're trying to spread it as if it's normal. Now, 2024, we rejected that. The culture war, we won. They're not going to go away. They are defeated. But what they'll do, there are not enough of them for a civil war. But they will subvert and infiltrate and try to overthrow at every opportunity. They will try to destroy us from within. That is their great trick. They're really, really good at it. They've done it many, many times. They have the intelligence agencies on their side. That's the war we're in, is defeating them, moving them out. PSU, so over Americans being okay with illegals. I completely agree. I don't see a Muslim versus Christian war. No, I don't. There will be countries where it will really rise up. But you got to understand, if it actually got to the point of war, we would destroy them. They are third world countries. The American military right now is, Trump's building it up very quickly. No, don't get caught up on the Islam part of it. They are backwards people. They are, and none of their countries want to have war with us right now, except for maybe Iran. But Iran's weak. They don't want any of that. There's not going to be a religious war. There's going to be attacks here and there, but that's not what we're really after. They're a pawn in the scheme of others. They're being used to distract us, to hurt us, to piss us off, to get us focused in the wrong direction. They're being used, and they're being used to look at what's going on in the UK, the mass migration over there, and how it's killing the culture that England once had. Same thing in Australia, same thing in France. These cultures are being destroyed. They tried to do it in America. We are 10 years behind where Europe and Australia are. And that 10 years might be what saved us. We might have woken up in time to fend it off. And they still have a little time there too. If they had a very, very strong leader, or the people really rose up and said no more, they could get it back. It would be a lot more work than what we have to do here. And we have a lot of work to do. And they have much more to do in order to get theirs back. But the greatness of America is that anybody could become an American. And because of that, people still take it to heart a little more. There's a little more pride here still in our country, and it's enough. I don't worry about a religious war. There's a lot of people theologically who believe that. I don't see it. Not at all. It's just not. It's not what's going on. The Christian nations, if we rise up, if it actually got to war, we are so much stronger than them. No, the only way we lose is by allowing them to infiltrate us, by allowing by the Christian nations to be what's called toxic empathy, which is where we empathize to the point we kill ourselves. That's the only way we lose. Christianity went from few people to the largest religion in the world, and it did almost all of it, 99.9% of it peacefully. And that 0.1% was just by savages calling themselves Christians. Most of them weren't what we would consider real Christians. But there was a time where if you were born in a Christian nation, you just called yourself a Christian. The vast majority of it's peaceful because it's real. In Islam, it's spread, and it's the second largest in the world. And it's because of violence and overtaking and controlling people. Well, you can't go much further than that because you can only do that in a nation you run. Well, guess what? Many of those nations, they're ready to be more Western. I bet Iran in the next 10 years, based on what's going on around them, based on the weakness of the regime, it almost happened this year. The people could overthrow it, become a more westernized nation. They want that freedom. Christianity is exploding behind the scenes in many of these nations. Muslims are converting by the hundreds of thousands every year. They're having dreams of Jesus where he's coming to them in their dreams. It's the craziest thing. It's hard to find that news, but it's out there. We're not looking at a religious war. We're looking at, they are at the end of this cabal globalist empire that they've been running behind the scenes, trying to make us a one world government that they ruled. We're at the end of that system. And this is their last gasp. We got very close to losing everything, but we woke up just in time. And now we have a champion fighting for us in Donald Trump. And that champion, there's a reason why. Listen, in times of war, you don't go criticizing your general and being like, look, man, I don't like how you said that. You don't do that. Soldiers don't line up behind their general and say, we're doing this too slow. No, you listen to orders. You fall in line. And most American people, listen, we love that we're a democracy. We're actually not a democracy. We're a republic, but we're a constitutional republic with democratic elements. And those democratic elements have been baked into our brains. And so we think it's very American to speak up against every little thing that we don't like. We don't like how slow it's going. We don't like how you did this. We don't like this. And all it's doing is that is actually what's slowing it all down. If we all recognize what we're really dealing with here and we were unified, those who see it, those who actually realize what's going on, none of them are criticizing Trump. We are fighting the PSYOP war. We are trying to knock down the idiots out there trying to ruin all of this because they're either selfish or they're controlled opposition. They're paid by somebody else. That's what's really going on here. Trump isn't perfect, but I don't need him to be perfect. He's what we have and he's what we need. And so I will fall in line and fight the good fight. And then when it's all said and done, we can be critical. But you don't criticize in the middle of the fight. You don't criticize in the middle of the war. You fight. You fight. You follow your leader. This is why, the entire reason the presidency exists, the executive branch exists, why they put a president in there, because many of the founding fathers did not want a king, and they were terrified that if they create a presidency, there would be a king again. But they said, we have to have it, because if we do not, we will not be able to fight wars. Because in times of emergency, you have to have one leader who can make the decisions. They realize that, and I believe it was godly wisdom that gave them that. And right now we're in a war. George Washington fought a war and won. Abraham Lincoln, Unite Our Nation, fought a war and won. Roosevelt fought a war and won. We've had leaders that we needed in their day. And we now are in one of those times. And just because it's not a hot war, and because of the internet, everybody thinks they have a voice, which you do, but we have just, and honestly, the government, this is their problem. Okay. They broke trust with us so much that now there's no honor towards leadership at all. But in societies that grow so distrustful of their government that they'll never even trust when we finally get a good one, those are societies that fall. Because when the people can't unite around anything anymore, when they can't galvanize behind a leader trying to do something good, I get it when you don't get behind them when they're doing something bad. I get how you can't unite behind a Joe Biden or a Jimmy Carter or an Obama. I get that. A Bush or a Clinton, fine. But when you finally have the guy you wanted and you trusted and you actually were excited to vote for and you've seen take a bullet for you, when you get that guy in office, and then once he's in office, he's trying to get stuff done, and all you do the entire time he's working his ass off is bitch and moan, you are a pathetic soldier, and you're one of the reasons we're going to lose. If we lose. I don't think we're going to lose. And just so I'm clear, but I am putting it out there because there's a lot of people like that. The libertarians who got what Trump promised them. He pardoned Ross Ulbricht. He shored up America with Bitcoin. He gave them all the stuff he promised to them at their conference. And now all they do is, oh, Trump's just a big spending fool again, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you made the deal. He honored his side. You freaks suck. You have no idea how to win. And this is why libertarians will never accomplish anything, ever. They're pathetic in their ideology. Now, I know some libertarians personal. On a one-by-one basis, they can be fine. But I'm talking in general, the general idea of this libertarian stuff. It's basically a psyop. It's like, here, let's believe something that could never, ever, ever happen. Good, enjoy that. Enjoy living in your fantasy world. We have a real world to run here. That's why libertarian as a party is pathetic. As an ideology is pathetic. It's fine to have it as an ideal. It's not fine to have it as an ideology for life because it'll never happen. So you're just left. All they do is cry and moan and complain all the time. We have work to do. Get in or shut up. And I'll tell you this, isn't it incredible? Think of all the people being the highest platform right now, the most attention. The algorithms love them. The talk shows love them. Dave Smith, everywhere. I used to like Dave Smith. He'd get on Rogan. I thought he had some really good points about the war. Now he's everywhere. Why? Because he's a principled libertarian speaking out against Trump and our government. No, really, dude, all he's doing is creating, he's demoralizing the people all the time. That nothing will ever get fixed. He has no solutions for any of it. He just complains. And I used to like Dave Smith. That's one example. Look at Candace Owens right now. Candace Owens out there destroying Charlie Kirk. Like his legacy by trying to destroy Turning Point over this whole death thing. Bringing up all this, even if she's right, which I don't believe she is, and I've seen plenty of evidence to say she's not. But even if she was right, the way she's doing it, there's no honor in it. It's not honoring Charlie at all. It's hurting his legacy. It's hurting his wife and his kids. And if Turning Point goes down because somebody like Candace chose not to fix it, but to just tear it down from afar, that's on her. And God will judge her for that. Notice how she is crying that she's about to be assassinated by somebody in France, that Israel is always out to get her. And she's like, they'll take you out if you're Israeli. Oh yeah, really, Candace? Because you're the number one podcast in the world right now. You know how you're number one podcast in the world right now? Because algorithms are promoting you. Why are they promoting you? I don't know. Somebody's pushing that button. Somebody's picking that up. I know how this works. I work in marketing. You don't get big organically anymore. It's nearly impossible. You get bigger because there's money behind you or there's influence behind you. Other than that, you grind. You grind and you just, work something out. You hope something happens. Why is Nick Fuentes being platformed so much right now? It's not organic. None of this is organic. It's all the psyop. It's all to create a division in MAGA. It's to destroy MAGA. They have sent out everything right now. They are deploying all psychological assets. It's all out there. I don't know what else I need to show you guys. I mean, the evidence it's obvious. Now, I go through the evidence every single night. But at some point, it's like people are just going to believe what they want to believe. Ever since I've been exposing the Candace Owens stuff and showing like how off she's been, people have been pissed at me. Telling me what a fool I am, how blind I am. It's like some people are deceived and others are bots. You don't know even what's real anymore. But I can tell you, I know Trump is a real deal, and I'm going to follow him. We're going to fight this battle. He's the only one getting it done. And when you only have one choice, you better take that choice, because the alternative, all these people crying about Trump not moving fast enough, not getting enough done. Okay, fine. That even if that was a legitimate criticism, which it's not, but even if it was, where else you going? Because if you convince everybody else, like Candace Owens is doing, like Nick Fuentes is doing, to not vote, and next time we get commie leftists who now don't give two Fs because Trump pushed back on them and now they're going to take ground in a major way and make sure it never happens again, when we're all in the gulags, then you'll have something to complain about. Much more than Trump's acting slow. I hate this nonsense. It's so stupid. Yeah, tell me again how Pam Bondi sucks. Okay, fine. She's what we have. So you're going to find a way to try and support her? Or are you going to ruin the administration by becoming part of a louder and louder call that just breaks them all up? By the way, she doesn't suck. She has the highest success rate with the Supreme Court of any attorney general ever. They're getting so much done behind the scenes. They have gotten several grand jury indictments already passed through. I mean, and she's all doing this with a skeleton crew because they had to purge 2/3 of the DOJ because they were commie, leftist, deep staters. And she's doing it with way less of a staff than others. It's insane, guys. It's insane. So, make your choices. Make your choices. This is war. This is war. RPW says Candace and Fuentes are psyops trying to sabotage MAGA. That's obvious. 100%. Absolutely. And listen, Trump's not perfect. He could fail. He could. I don't believe he will. I believe he knows what he's doing. When I see Trump, I don't see a man who looks too concerned. He looks like, and you know who knows more than any of us about what's going on? That man right there. He knows more than retard on X trying to tear down Trump. He knows more than idiot Emerald Robinson saying Trump has always hired terrible people. He still hires terrible people. Oh my God. I mean, who the hell thinks they actually know more than the guy there doing the work? The guy who gets every intel drop. The guy who makes all the decisions, who's talking to all these people behind the scenes. But people are like, no, what they show me on TV is real. Hey, my anonymous resource told me this bad thing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are we ever going to grow the F up? Are we ever going to grow up? Or are we all just going to always be children who just believe whatever we hear from Mr. Influencer over there who's making millions of dollars off their show that you watch every night because every night's a freaking emergency. It's World War III. They're making tons of money. They're talking to all these people who have sources, and you're going to trust them over the people doing the work? You're going to trust Alex Jones when he comes out the other night and says, I'm finally done with Trump. I'm going to take this before God. And I'm going to listen to what God tells me. And, he might tell me tonight, but it might take a few weeks. And then I'm going to decide if I'm done with Trump or not. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was too far. That was too far. Yeah, really? Okay, Alex, really? You're going to dump Trump because Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned because she's a coward and she sucks? That's why you're going to give up on Trump? Alex, really? Idiot. But no, Alex, keep getting them checks, buddy. Keep getting them checks. This is so stupid, man. It's insane. It's insane. It drives me crazy. And you don't think anything's getting done? Check this out. Trump, United States, did not attend the G20 in South Africa. When have we ever not attended the G20? No, he's one of them. He's a globalist, guys. He's a globalist. He's one of them, dummy. He is deep state. Okay, Ian retard Carroll. These people, God forgive me. I hate them so much. These are the worst people in the world. Trump's just one of them. He's just doing the same thing, man. You fell for it. Okay, Whitney Webb. He's bringing up a technocracy because one time he winked at Peter Thiel. So Peter Thiel, Palantir, they run the world. They own everything. Freaking morons, man. Meanwhile, Trump is flipping off the whole world and not going to the G20. But he's one of them, yo. Didn't attend G20 in South Africa. Why? Because the South African government refuses to acknowledge or address the horrific human rights abuses endured by Afrikaners and other descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers. To put it more bluntly, they are killing white people and randomly allowing their farms to be taken to them. You hear what he just said? No one else in my lifetime has had the guts to say that as a politician. They are trying to kill us, white people. And this is not about race. I miss the Cosby days, man. I miss the 80s. And obviously Cosby, maybe that was the wrong one to bring up. I miss those days, man. Watching the Cosby Show, watching Family Matters, watching Fresh Prince. Guess what? Back when black culture was part of us, we were all just Americans. The differences were fun. We didn't hate each other. Michael Jordan was the biggest person in the world. I wanted to be Mike. Be like Mike. I wanted to be Mike. Basketball was my life. We had it figured out. In the 80s and 90s. Yeah, some idiots occasionally would do dumb stuff. But nobody I knew was racist. And then Obama came along and set off a nuclear race bomb. And ever since then, that's all they care about. And all of a sudden, it's been kill, kill, kill Whitey. Listen. I don't want anybody else to get hurt. I don't care what your color is, but I want to survive. I want my people to survive. I want my kids to survive. Is that too much to ask? Right now, white people in the world, 10% of the world. Yeah. Who's the minority? by 2050 will be 5%. And part of it is because we're retarded and we're just aborting all of our own babies. Okay? I mean, yeah, let's have an honest conversation there. If you're white, you need to have like 6 kids like I did. If we're going to save our culture, our species. But, you know, it's like, I'm not talking bad on anybody else. I'm not going to be Nick Fuentes and talk down on the other races because that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. It's because we happen to be the culture that just picked up Christianity and started changing the world. We picked up capitalism, started changing the world. And that's what they want dead. And they figure if they can get rid of us, they'll get rid of all that. Not going to let it happen. Not going to let it happen. And guess what? We actually have a president brave enough to say it. Perhaps worst of all, the soon-to-be out-of-business New York Times fake news media won't issue a word against this genocide. That's why all the liars and pretenders of radical left media are going out of business. At the conclusion of G20, South Africa refused to hand off the G20 presidency to a senior rep from our U.S. embassy who attended the closing ceremony. Therefore, at my direction, South Africa will not get an invitation to the 2026 G20 in Miami. You gone, South Africa. They've demonstrated to the world they are not a country worthy of membership anymore, and we're going to stop all payments and subsidies to them effective immediately. Hell yes. I'll drink to that. F these people, man. I'm sorry. I'm fired up tonight. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Jesus, forgive me. I am grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for where we're headed. I'm just tired of the dummies. I'm tired of the people who are letting this happen, who let us get to this point and aren't falling in line to fix it. I'm tired of it. We had National Guardsmen shot tonight by an illegal Afghani, and people are crying about the stupidest stuff. Are you kidding me? We're in a war and people are mad that their enemy, their target hasn't been arrested yet. Are you kidding me? Well, they're mad. Trump's still spending a little too much money. Oh, the national debt. You know how long it'll take before the national debt actually collapses us? I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but Japan is running their national debt to their GDP twice as bad as ours. Twice as bad, maybe almost 3 times as bad as ours. And guess what? Yeah, they have some currency issues, but they're still getting along. And last I checked, their culture is a lot, in many ways, not every way, but in many ways healthier than ours. At least they don't have dudes trying to be chicks over there. And it's normal. Just saying, the national debt is nowhere near our biggest concern. Not even near it. We have so many assets when you consider our land, our gold, everything. It's like, forget about it. Scott Bessent said as much earlier this year. Okay, let me keep moving on. So much to do, so much to say. Things are changing. We're cutting Europe out of the negotiations with Ukraine and Russia. So I'm just going to leave that for a second. We're not going to go into this one. But guys, things are changing. Trump's just throwing the middle finger out to everybody else in the world who does not have our best interests at heart. And that's what I want to see. All right. Speaking of... Oh, my God. Speaking of people who are not who they appear to be, and everybody's fussing over, Marjorie Taylor Greene tonight. Did you guys see this? Or today? So Marjorie Taylor Greene put together this big old post, and all that Mike Cernovich just wrote her and said, dude, you need to finish your term. Stop being weak. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene then went off. Typical of Republican men telling a woman to shut up, get back in the kitchen, fix me something to eat. What? He told you to get back to Congress, yo. He told you to go be back, be one of the most important people in the world, in the biggest, most important country in the world, be an actual voting member who can impact policy of the most important country in world history. And you're like, that's just like working in the kitchen. Okay, dummy. Just live that victim life there, Marjorie. F you in the sweetest, most southern drawl I can enunciate. I've been trying to tell all you men, our kitchen pantry's empty with spider webs, our house been ransacked, windows and doors are broken and busted, and greedy bastards twisted your minds into a sick state. You all continue in two-party toxic political system. Blah, 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 blah. Get off your ass and fix your own damn food and clean up the kitchen when you're done. Hey, Marjorie. Way to be a great example of how to not fix it. Thank you for showing us who you really are. A coward and weak, feckless victim mentality. Or were you just grifting the whole time? $700,000 of worth when you came into Congress, $25 million when you left. Retiring 2 days after your pension kicks in. Good job. You served 5 years and now you're going to get a pension for the rest of your damn life. Keep getting them checks, Marjorie. Thanks for showing us who you really are. Oh, but by the way, this woman right here, this is the woman that Alex Jones is so upset about. That now I just got to take it to God about whether or not I could support Trump because what he did to Marjorie Taylor Greene was so terrible. No, she showed us who she really is. Anybody supporting this witch, anybody supporting her at this point is showing me they have no clue. They're not paying attention. She hasn't been America First or MAGA in a while. Listen to how Scott Jennings brilliantly broke it down.
What I believe and know to be true about the Green situation, and look, I don't know her, and so I'm not going to tell you the story to disparage her. I'm just going to tell you what I know to be true. She wanted to run for statewide office in Georgia. Mm-hmm. The White House knew this. She, I think, asked for their advice. The president heard about it. He had a poll that was somebody gave him about the situation in Georgia. He discreetly and privately transmitted this information to her. And it showed her losing to John Ossoff by 20 points. It showed that if she were to run statewide, it would end in disaster and embarrassment. So he didn't exactly tell her not to run, but he gave her the kind of political information that you would interpret as, hey, this is not a good idea for you, and it's not a good idea for the party. Since the transmission of that information, which, by the way, he was doing her a favor. He was saving her from humiliation. Since the transmission of that information, she has opposed the president on his Middle East policy. She didn't like it when he bombed the Houthi rebels. She didn't like it when he took out Iran's nuclear facilities. She opposed him on deportations. She went on The View and attacked him. You know, over and over and over and over, she became a policy and political opponent of the president. And they believe it all goes back to that moment where they showed her a poll to try to do her a favor. Now, when he withdrew his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene and basically said, okay, if you're going to attack me, I'm going to withdraw my support of you, what happened? She dropped out of Congress just a few days later. And so to me, this is really a story about political power and who controls it, who has it, and who has influence. And look, a lot of folks have been arguing Donald Trump's a lame duck. All I know is he withdrew his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and like a week later, she's resigning from Congress.
And there it is. She was always out for herself. Always out for herself. And she found her grift. And maybe she believed it for a little bit. I can't say I wasn't in her mind. Maybe for a little bit. Maybe she did believe it. But either she was grifting the whole time or Washington got into her and started taking her over. She became friends with McCarthy, the rhinoiest of rhinos. Kevin McCarthy supported him, tried not to get him ousted as speaker. And listen, you can hate Johnson all you want. He's way better than McCarthy ever was. McCarthy never would have gotten the one big beautiful bill passed. I guarantee you that, or all this other stuff that Johnson's been able to pull together. So she was McCarthy gal, and then just nonstop criticizing Trump. But the straw that broke the camel's back was standing with Thomas Massie in front of all those signs declaring Trump a pedo and calling for the Epstein files and insinuating that Trump was hiding something. And then she picked her side then. She sided with what I believe to be the true deep stater, Thomas Massie, and sided with him and the Democrats against Trump. And then when Trump pulled the rug out on them with Epstein, Marjorie realized Trump was going to destroy the Democrats and all these people, and it wasn't what she had gotten into. And then she's out, resigns just a week later. Insane, guys. Insane. Yeah, insider trading. Oh, she was really good at it. She was really good at it. She does have a successful construction company, which, by the way, she said she needs illegals for. Can't make this stuff up. She was against Trump deporting everybody because of that. So, yeah, who's that? Scotty Marr did a deep dive on MTG. I might have to go watch that. Anyways, she just not who she says she is. And a lot of people have seen it for a while now, but nobody was listening. PDB, love PDB. MTG is spiritual liberal like Candace. Owen's easy to spot. Green hit it better. Trend chasers, absolutely. They're grifters, man. Just like Candace, always going the most popular way. There's a reason she's risen up to where she is, because A, ultimately, she only harms the movements she joins, which she used to be a liberal, by the way. And B, she only goes where the money is. She only goes where the spotlight is. Do you see Candace digging into the stuff nobody cares about? No. What was she doing before Charlie Kirk? Brigitte Macron's a man. That's some saucy stuff right there. Is it legit? I don't know. Maybe. It's funny. It's interesting. It's salacious. What was she doing before that? Oh, let's talk about this big movie. This, what was it? I can't even remember their names, but Ryan Reynolds' wife and all their celebrity gossip. She rode that train for a while. Months. My wife was even watching her then. My wife hates politics, but she was watching Candace, and she goes where the spotlight is. She knows how to get an audience. I'll give her that. Her marketing skills are fantastic. But somebody like that, can they be a true believer? I highly, highly doubt it. Very, very rarely. Linda says, witnessed MTG attack an LA woman who wanted to run for office, destroyed her dog business. Really? Well, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Justice T-Bone says, maybe since she resigned, we can get a new chair for the Doge subcommittee, to which MTG held. Oh my God. Yeah, right. And you know what's funny about that? Probably one of her biggest complaints is that, Trump didn't get anything done with Doge. I mean, listen, look at this statement. She's basically telling everybody she left because Washington's broken. Well, then go fix it. Isn't that the entire point? That Americans don't step up and fix their issues. They don't become a part of government. And so we all know it's broken and we're trying to fix it. Some of us run for office. Some of us do this. I mean, at least the people watching this are interested enough. Most of us are trying to do something about it, Marjorie. But you're so weak. You got out of the game. So no, you don't get to have an opinion. Although I bet you're going to get those checks pretty soon. MSNBC come calling, CNN, maybe Fox News will bring you on as their new conservative commentator. Oh, you'll make good money then, Marjorie. She knows exactly what she's doing. All right, let me run through a couple other things here. And then you guys won't have to listen to me rant anymore tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Love you guys. Please take a second to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Who needs a drink? Tasty stuff. Anyways, we did get some good news today, though. Today, Fani Willis and team dropped the 2020 election case against Trump for Georgia. Oh, man, this one's sweet. This one feels good. You know why? Because last year, no, a year and a half ago, 2024, early 2024, when this case was going on, and we had Jenna Ellis and others taking guilty pleas, plea bargaining, I had people lighting up my chat saying, Trump's done. He's finished. They got him. Look at all the people claiming they're like pleading guilty. This one's over. Screwed. He'll never win. I told you guys it's all nonsense. And now today, it's all gone. They had nothing to do with it. And even on CNN, they said it is not illegal to contest an election. Ooh, that's sweet poetic justice right there. We are winning. Despite the pain of today, despite the insanity of today, despite seeing all the grifters exposed and trying to gin us up on social media that we're all getting destroyed, that we can't fix it. Despite all that, we're still winning. Lochtfeld says, bad news, Comey's out there taking a victory lap. It's short. It's short. They've already said, Trump's already said they're coming back around. So is Bondi. And so they'll get him next time. Because it was thrown out, there's no double jeopardy. They can go right back after him. So I'm not worried about the Comey stuff. Not at all.
That's an honest question.
I'm not going to play this anymore. But if you guys want to take the time to go watch Tim Pool last night or listen to Tim Pool with Hotep last night, go through the Candace Owens stuff, it's fantastic. I mean, I guess I will play this clip because I went after Candace pretty hard tonight. So I might as well back it up with some other very smart people.
How come nobody, I brought this up last night, how come nobody is asking whether or not she's involved?
She's a suspect.
But hold on, like honest question. I don't know about suspect in Charlie's murder, but isn't it strange that she's not being censored by YouTube despite as critical of Israel as she is?
Yep.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. By the way, Tim Pool, he's done this all independently. He knows exactly how all this YouTube stuff works. And it's very strange that Candace hasn't been censored by YouTube or at least throttled.
Spotify or Apple, and that her own lawyers work out of the same building as the feds?
Yeah.
How come no one's talking about that?
I am.
That's an honest question. I'm not trying to
talking
make you
about
assume
Tim.
anything. I'm saying for somebody who claims that you can't criticize Israel, she also brags she has the #1 podcast worldwide. She's propped up on YouTube with millions of views and the other podcast platforms with no takedown. Nick Fuentes is banned across the board. And then she accidentally points out that her own lawyers are registered at the same address as the feds. She had a response to this, that it was just a registered agent?
Well, no, that's what the internet sleuths. The internet sleuths said that, they pulled the address from the Macron case, and apparently that her attorney's office has a registered agent at that address, which happens to be the same address as the feds, right? FBI and other high-level intelligence agencies, et cetera, right? But we got to zoom out and use Candace's logic. If you're using Candace's logic, who's benefited the most from Charlie Kirk's assassination? It's been Candace.
There it is. There it is. It's starting to fall apart. And listen, we need stuff like this. We need people like this actually willing to tell the truth, actually willing to put the, look through the holes in these arguments. And these are the biggest people in the world. You put yourself out on that stage. And, I know where I stand. I stand for this country, what's best for this country. And right now, what's best for this country is Trump and the MAGA movement. And so that's where I stand. And anybody who comes in the way of that, I am going to tear down. Unless they have something that could actually, if Trump actually was in the Epstein files in some horrible way, yeah, that would be something that would make me reevaluate it all. Absolutely. But unless you bring something like that, there's nothing else. Nothing else going to take me off this mission. Nothing else going to take my support away from the man. And so far, I've been doing this show now it'll be 3 years next month. I have been, watching this from afar, studying Trump, studying everything that's going on and all this for 9 years now, almost 10 years. And I got to tell you, it's always him who's validated, and always these influencers, grifters, whatever, who are the ones ultimately exposed. And that's the trend. And so it's like, I don't know. It gets old. I guess that's why I've been a little spicy tonight. I'm tired of it, but at the same time, I can't be tired of it. We got to keep fighting. What happened? Oh, you guys talking to each other. All right. Couple other things. Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson now fighting.
He was
which tells me that, the Tucker, when he interviewed Nick and the deal that was all made about that, about how they're buddy and everybody turning on Tucker because of it. And then what happened? Trump comes out and basically says he's good with Tucker. Tucker's fine. And that told me that Tucker is still one of the good ones. And now we get Nick Fuentes going after Tucker, which just tells me that Nick is, he's feeling the heat of being exposed as well. It's not going as good for him as he thought. Showing up on Tucker Carlson's show, getting all this positive exposure in a way, should have been a big boon for him. And now he's complaining about it. So maybe we're finally getting to the right place with some of this. Candace canceled her show this week. She was starting to get a lot of pushback. Maybe we're finally getting to the right place with all this. Only time will tell, but it's good. It's a good direction to go, and it's showing us a lot. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to show you guys tonight, and this has nothing to do with everything that I've been talking about, except for the psyop about how things are falling apart for the Trump administration. Just listen to this quick story from Kash Patel about what happened when the news came out the other day that Trump wasn't happy with him.
It was pretty comical, because the president and I were both discussing law enforcement operations across the country with our team, the attorney general and other members of the department. And we were made aware that there was reporting that I was being terminated. And the president laughed and he said, "What are they talking about? Kash is doing a great job." In fact, he goes, "Kash, you want to take a photo in front of the Declaration of Independence and tell them how good of a job you're doing?" I said, "Sure thing, Mr. President." Obviously, everyone works at the pleasure of the president. I think we are executing the president's mission wildly successfully in a historic fashion. And I think when the media gets together with anonymous sources like they always do, and it gets louder and louder and louder, that just means our mission is the most effective it's ever been, and that's the only thing I care about.
Beautiful. So Trump laughed it off. The team's having a good time laughing about it. And that's, that just tells me they know. They're comfy. They're good. Isn't it funny how some of the people who are the most important in the administration for justice, for defeating this enemy, for actually winning this war, are the ones most attacked and most called incompetent? Pam Bondi, Attorney General, Kash Patel, Hegseth with the military. I mean, come on. Tulsi Gabbard, they went after hard this summer. Remember the whole story in Iran? Oh, Tulsi Gabbard and Trump. Trump's so mad at Tulsi Gabbard because she's against this strike. And then they both came out. They're like, "What are you guys talking about?" Now Tulsi's chilling, still doing her job. Busted out all the stuff on Obama a couple weeks later. I mean, you can't trust any of these leaks. You can't. This team is the most tight-knit, well-prepared team that all likes each other that we've ever had in the presidency, at least in the era of television. I mean, this has just never happened in the modern age where there weren't people in the administration trying to undercut one another for future plans, for promoting themselves from within. They are all together. They all get along. And Trump is pleased with all of them. And that's just a fact. That's the boring fact. I'm sorry it's not salacious or interesting, but that's the boring fact. But it is actually incredible when you realize how rare it is and how it's never happened before. By this point in Trump's first term, there had already been several firings and replacements because it was all deep staters. The Republican Party was feeding him staffers, and they all kept trying to undercut, not all, but many of them. And he just ran through them. Multiple chiefs of staff, multiple Department of Defense multiple attorney generals. he just ran through them because they were all undercutting him. So what a different world we live in now. We're going into 2026 with a team that's still laser focused. All right, guys. Well, hey, good things are coming. Good things are coming. And I want to end with that tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys. Tomorrow, not only do we take the time to thank God for how blessed we are, but we also need to take the time to remember how blessed we are to live in this country and how blessed we are that this country even exists. And I'm so thankful. I'm thankful that Trump won in 2024. I'm thankful for where we're headed. I'm thankful we actually are winning this war. As hard as it seems sometimes, as long as it seems sometimes, we're winning. And so I hope everybody tomorrow can decompress, pull away. I certainly am. I'm not thinking about politics tomorrow. I'm going to be playing board games with my kids while we eat, while I watch football, watch the Cowboys lose. It's going to be glorious. I'm going to love every second of it. And I'm not going to be angry tomorrow. I'm going to be in a good place. And all you guys, I hope you will be too, because ultimately the reason why we fight is for family. The reason why we fight is for them, for the future, for our kids, for other kids, generations down the road. We fight to give them a better life than we had, a better country than we had. And, and in the meantime, still say, thank you, Jesus, that even though it's hard, even though times have been tough, we still are more blessed than most people in history could ever dare dream being. We're going to eat more food tomorrow than many people throughout history had ever seen in one day in their lives. So just remember that. And remember that even though things can be hard, even though things in context of the times can seem difficult or crazy, we're still in the context of history living one of the best times ever. And there's just no debate of that. And so I'm thankful for that. And so love you guys. God bless you all so much. And thank you for watching. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, repost if you're on X. I'd appreciate that. And if you want to join, if you want to support this channel and the work I do, because listen, I work full time. I take care of 6 kids and a wife, and I love being a dad and husband. That comes first. And that's why I do these shows late. But your support makes it possible to keep showing up as much as I do, because God knows that if I wasn't helping support the family by doing this a little bit, I couldn't do it. And so you guys make that happen through your support. So if you want to join the channel, get some perks, the Discord group, get some members' lives, click the link in the description or pinned to my post on X and join that Patreon. You'll get a free first month. And if you like it, you can stay for $5 a month. And that's it. And that's how you can support the channel and the work I do. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Let's end in a prayer, because it is Thanksgiving now. Officially on the East Coast, it's 12:30. It is Thanksgiving Day. And so we're going to offer up some thanks. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day you've given us, this life you've given us, this country you've given us. Thank you for these people, God, who show up to watch, and just bless each and every one of them, Lord. I just pray they all have a blessed and wonderful Thanksgiving with friends and family, Father. And Jesus, we just pray a blessing over President Trump and his team, that this war will be fought, that you will give them all the strategies they need to defeat the enemy once and for all, and we can get our country back and also allow other countries to finally thrive again once this enemy, God, of the people has been defeated. I pray, God, you unearth it all, expose it all, and bring down all those who would fight against him and fight against our movement, this country, and what's best for it. We pray for peace and prosperity and justice in America, Lord, and protection over those fighting for us. And God, I just pray a prayer of peace and blessing over everybody watching, that you would be with them, you would bless them, you would be with them, let them feel your presence, God, let them know they're not alone, and just be with them in their hard times and their good times. And thank you, God, for all you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hallelujah. Bless you guys. Love you all. And have a happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. God bless. Good night.